Hello everyone, and welcome back to the third installment of the HCR Multiclass series. Now, this is round 3, and that brings us to Daytona. And as the title suggests, we are going to be the underdogs once again in this race. However, our car is actually somewhat okay. Last week, we had the R18 at Fuji, and it got completely outclassed, and it was a miracle that I even hauled that thing onto the podium. However, this week, we're in the new R18, but we have to deal with two Toyotas. Now, the Toyotas... Why did I say it like that? The two Toyotas, the hypercars, are bloody quick. They're about 15 to 16, in the high teens, faster than this thing. Any other car, maybe the GTR can keep up, but anything other than the GTR and the Toyota, if I got that this week, I would have been cooked. But the R18 is probably the only car that can really hold a candle to it in top speed. Now, this is the qualifying lap, and you can see, so Scotty22 and Tricky Brewer are the ones in the Toyota, and the gap between me and Tricky Brewer is really close, as we're going purple, which is good. So, the dynamic Daytona, really fast, long straights. Majority of the time, the Toyotas gain a lot of time off the infield, going towards the bus stop, and from the end of the bus stop all the way to the first corner. As we cross the line in P1, but only 2/10 away from Tricky Brewer, so it's going to be close. But because the Toyotas are so quick in a straight line and the R18 is somewhat alright in the corners, you're going to see we get our time in really different places around the track. As we're on the start grid, it's a grid start. I know, it's weird, grid start, Daytona, ugh. Really weird. As the lights go out, we somewhat get an okay launch, but we've launched out of the Toyotas, but already their speed is already kicking in, and they're immediately going to go on the attack into the first corner. I'm going to get a Toyota on my right and a Toyota on my left, and I'm just going to brake early and let them fight it out. Now, Tricky Brewer is actually on hard tires, and the only stipulation on tire rules was that you only had to use the hard. The mandatory was a hard. You can use softs, mediums, hard, 2 hard stints, whatever, but you have to use a hard tires at some point. So me and Scotty are both on mediums, and Tricky Brewer's on the hard, so he's going to somewhat fade away at some point. Not fade away, but, you know, slowly move backwards. Because realistically, the fight is between the top 3 here. Because the rest of the grid are in the old cars, so the Peugeot, the Audi, and I think the Toyota is also in there, the TS020, I'm not sure, I don't really pay attention. But as you can already see, the Toyota's already pissing off into the distance. It's already gained a second on me in the infield, and it's just gonna fly through the straights. As we head up towards the bus stop for the first time, this R18, I'm just gonna say where this thing is quicker. It's quicker on the exit of the bus stop and in the infield. Actually, I shouldn't really be calling this an Audi. I should be calling this a Ferrari, because that's what my team is, Ferrari. We're in the budget 499p. As we go down the final straight here, it was about a second from leaving the infield, and Scotty has already gained about a second on me. So, yeah, those things are bloody quick. However, it doesn't... the order between us 3 doesn't really change for a bit. So it's honestly just cruising, trying to find everyone's weaknesses, everyone's strengths. I already know where the strengths and weaknesses are for me. I think my worst corner is the second hairpin in the infield. I'm pretty sure it has a name. It's not the International Horseshoe, because that was the International Horseshoe. I'm pretty sure this has a name, right? Or am I an idiot? Like, this corner right here, I'm pretty sure this has a name. So I'm gonna look it up right now. No, it doesn't, it's just 5. Okay, well, I'm just gonna call it the second horseshoe. Or does it? Oh, no, yeah, no, it does have a name. The West Horseshoe. I'm just gonna call it the second horseshoe because I'm lazy. As we go onto the oval now, somehow Tricky Brewer is having a hard time shaking Motormad, which is really weird. And the Motormad's in the old Audi, so good job on Motormad for keeping up with him. But sooner or later, the Toyota's engine's gonna kick in and leave him for dead, basically. As we go through the bus stop for the second time, not really much to report here. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for the transition to the next clip, which will actually move us a lot forward in the race. Because again, these are the opening laps, not really much happens. Oh god, why did I make the cut so far ahead? As we set a blue lap. We're gonna go to lap 13, so 10 laps later. I've somewhat, I don't know how, but I've somewhat kept the gap to Scotty ahead in the Toyota quite consistent. And you might realize I'm actually short shifting quite a lot. Initially, I wanted to make this a one stop, but I realized because you're on the power for so long around this track, it's pretty much impossible. So it is realistically a two stop. So the short shifting, you see me there. It's just me trying to get the medium stint to about 15 laps because that's how I calculate it in my head is going to be like the most optimal strategy. So 15 laps on the medium, and we're going to do 2 stints of that and a hard to bridge the gap basically between the 2 stints. As we go on to the oval, Tricky is still not, I wouldn't say far behind. He's actually done a really good job on the hard tyres, which is really interesting fact with hard tyres. They felt slow, obviously, but at this point, 13 laps in, there's the cross between the hard tyre and the medium tyre pace is starting to come together now, which is pretty good. As we go into the bus stop for the 13th time, this is a really crucial time because these are our pit stop laps. So Scotty, I don't think he's been fuel saving very much because he's going to go in now on lap 13 to stick on, I think, another set of mediums. I'm positive it's another set of mediums. You had the option for soft, I think, but not a lot of us picked soft because they would just wear out not too quick, but quite quickly. As we transition to lap 14, we're in P1 now. Tricky Brewer has dropped off again to 8 seconds, but this is pit lap now, and you'll see he was on hard tyres the whole time. So 8 seconds over 15 laps, not too bad on a hard tyre. So well done on there. And now it's our turn to come into the pit. And here's a little funny thing. We both want to go into the pit, but Expat wants to let me pass, and he's already turning in, but he realizes I'm there, so he has to back off. As we go in on lap 15, and we're going to get our hard tyre stint out of the way. Like I said, this hard tyre stint is going to bridge the gap between the 2 medium tyre stints. As we fast forward the clip, in we come. I'm just going to say I'm in a Ferrari at this point. Like, I've got the B-Tech Ferrari livery. God, this feels like WEC now, Ferrari versus Toyota, except we're in America. As we come out right behind Scotty. However, I'm somewhat okay with that because I can leech off of him for like the slipstream, and I can somewhat stay fuel behind him for the little time I'm going to stay behind him, because inevitably, now the Toyotas, both Tricky and Scotty, now have a tyre advantage over me. So now they're going to be quick in the corners and quick in a straight line. So now I just need to limit the time loss I'm going to have, because I'm not really going to stay on this hard tyre for that long. Because again, it's that much slower, and like I said before, it's a bridge between the 2 medium tyre stints, which I think are immediately the best tyre by far. As we go down towards the bus stop, Scotty once again pulling away, even when I'm in a tow. Goes to show how fast those Toyotas are and how imbalanced Group 1 is. However, you know what, should I make a video about how imbalanced Group 1 is? I think everyone knows it is, but I don't know. Maybe when I'm bored, I might do it at some point. As we go past the bus stop, again, Toyota already gaining. And you'll see Tricky Brewer pass the car behind me, Nick, which is in the R18. 9 seconds he was, and now at lap 23, it's gone down to 2.3 seconds. So he's really catching. And now we're in that little bit of a middle ground here where the gap to the Toyota in front and the gap to the Toyota in the back of me is pretty much the same. So I'm at a crossroads here. However, this is our pit lap. Like I said, hard tyres were our bridging between the 2 fast in quotation marks stint. As we come in, I'm going to chuck the medium tyre on and put the fuel in, and now I don't need to put any more fuel in. My fuel strategy is completely alright now. And I'm doing this pit stop early because I don't want to do the thing at the end where you're gonna do a splash and dash. Don't want to do that. I hate doing it. As we come out, I don't really. Yeah, 40 seconds behind the leaders. So now we're on the quote unquote fast tire to the end now. 20. I think. Let me see that. 21 minutes. So I'm trying to do the math in my head. I should know this because I literally just done the race and I should know how many laps there were in the race. However, lap 26 comes around. Scotty's now in the pits, so he's going to do his last stop, and this is going to be his hard tire stint. And this is something crucial which I haven't really brought up till now. There's a safety car, a guaranteed safety car at some point, and it still hasn't been called yet. So I'm wondering where on earth is this safety car? And Tricky's now in the pits, and he's stuck it out on that medium tire. And now, because of the time, we're now pretty much at the end of the race, he's going to stick on a set of softs to the end, which is now a very scary prospect as we jump him in the pits. But the safety car comes out, so that 3-second gap I had on Tricky, gone, evaporated, doesn't exist anymore. And now, for the final few minutes, Trick is on softs, so he has way more grip than me, and a much faster car than me. Great. And the problem is with this safety car, it lasts for a very, very long time. 3 laps, and each lap is 3 minutes long, pretty much. So that's just giving Tricky Brewer more of an advantage because his soft tires aren't wearing out from racing at full pace. So now the laps or the minutes are at 7 minutes. So this is the last lap of safety car, and you can see in the bottom left corner my battery is completely drained. For some reason it's completely gone, but you got to deal with it. So into the bus stop on lap 30. As I punch it out of the bus stop, all cars have to stay behind the lead car, but no overtaking till the line, which is really funny because both the Toyotas are now queuing up behind me and there's nothing they can do about it. They just gotta sit there. It's like they're sitting behind an LMP2 car, really, just because of how much faster they are. Look at them, they're like a pack of wolves sitting behind me. As we go up towards the line, I know Tricky Brewer is gonna make a move, so I'm just hogging the inside line and brake on my marks. But Tricky Brewer, I think he misses his brakes or something, or doesn't trail brake enough, and he just goes wide. And that gives me somewhat breathing room. Now I'm praying, Scotty, please hold up Tricky Brewer. But nope, Tricky Brewer just dispatches him immediately. As we move on to the end of that lap, now I know, alright, this is probably it here. The jig's up. As now, I'm defending against Tricky Brewer here, but he passes me before the corner we even get to the corner. So now I'm praying A, his tires go out, or B, he crashes, because there's no way I can catch it. Zero. He's faster than me in the corners because of the tires, and he's faster than me on the straight. So now, just like last week in Fuji, I'm having that same mentality of this is probably as much as I'm going to get here, P2. But unlike last week, my P2 didn't happen on the last lap. We still have about 3 laps of racing to go here, so as long as I somehow keep with Tricky Brewer here, there's a chance, there's a very, very small chance that I can clinch the win here. As we go onto the oval, on lap 32, that Toyota's just going to start pulling on me, and it's painful. It really is, just seeing your opponent who has all the tools in their favour really pull away, and you're like, oh, it's a painful existence. At this point, I was literally just end the race. Can we just end it here? As we go through the bus stop, and 3/10 ahead, and now because we have so much fuel, which is actually a pretty good thing for me, I can now fully rev the car out, which is really good. But Tricky Brewer's already half a second up and climbing and climbing and climbing. So yeah, I'm thinking it's a done deal. But we skip ahead from lap 33 to lap 34, This is the last lap, or going to be. We just crossed the line, and I'm a second, let's just say a second behind Tricky, so something really drastic needs to happen. As we go through the first corner, I gain on Tricky Brewer by about 4/10 on one corner, so I'm thinking his tyres must be completely shot. This must be it's one lap too much for the soft tyres. As we go through the international horseshoe, we've gained another 2/10 on him. Alright, game on-ish. His tyres are completely done, but dead tyres doesn't really affect the Toyota's engine. So I still need somewhat of a miracle as we stroll right to the back of the Toyota. As we brake going into the transition to the oval, we're going to go right around the outside, and we take the lead. But again, this is the strong part. The Toyota is absolutely strong, but I have a feeling Tricky Brewer is going to be impatient and try and go for the move at the bus stop, which is something you should never do on the last lap, especially in the Toyota where you're so much quicker. So I go wide, and he takes the inside line, and he doesn't go back in. And as we go on the brakes, he doesn't let go of the brakes. So he completely goes up the grass and careers to the left. And we're in P1 onto the final straight, but it's not over because, again, the Toyota is so much quicker. So this is going to be somewhat of a drag race, as the Toyota now is starting to pick up speed as they go towards the line. Is it going to be a Toyota win or a Ferrari win? At this point, no way, even though the Toyota is so quick, we passed the line in P1, and I just let out a massive sigh of relief that mistake happened, and my banking on him going on the inside and being impatient worked. As here's the replay. He goes on the inside, and it surprised me that with the overlap of speed, he didn't take the racing line. As he misses a gear, and he brakes, but he doesn't let go of the brakes. As he goes completely wide, or drifts wide, letting me through on the inside. What a miracle for that to happen for me on the last lap. But hey, you've got to be in it to win it. You should never give up. As we look at the standings, because of that win, the underdog win, in the Drivers' Championship, we are first place by a single point. That's madness. And in the Teams' Championship, we're 12 points behind the lead. So we're all to play for in the Team Championship as well. And next week we head to Spa, and we actually have the TS050, so that's a somewhat decent car. Not as good as the 919, the hypercar, or the Audi, but it's decent. And yeah, that was a very stressful one for me. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Spa next week.